When a quilt is not just a quilt, you can find it at the Tucson Convention Center this weekend. The 42nd annual Quilt Fiesta is going to be showcasing over 200 beautiful quilts and 40 quilting vendors and organizations. And
here to tell us about it and show us what we can expect are Donnie Cathey, president of Cathey Sew and Vac, Carly Cathey, the event coordinator, and Swan Sheridan, the vendor coordinator. It's nice to have you all here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Such a fun event every year, isn't it? And anybody can go, even if they're not a quilter. So why might somebody who hasn't done it before want to come down to the show?
Well, you know, it's also one of the best art shows in Tucson. You get to see such a wide variety of artistic skill and what they're doing with sewing machines and by hand to produce amazing work. What we get excited about every year is that not just quilters enjoy the show, but children enjoy the show. Men who didn't think that they would love the show get really excited about being there.
And you know, you always think, or a lot of people may think, that this is what your grandmother does, right? You think of your grandmother's quilt, they're very comforting, they're very beautiful, but it runs the gamut in ages. We were talking about that, Carly, last time.
Yeah.
Some of the gifts that you make personally for the younger generation, and I love that. So it has a little bit of everything at the Quilt Fiesta, right?
Yeah, most definitely. We have sewing, embroidery, quilting, and then we'll actually be having some classes too. So if you want to try out one of the quilting machines, we are going to actually bring them in and you can kind of take one for a test drive.
Demonstrations, actual classes, right? Yeah.
Actual classes. You know, we think about quilts. You know, you might have a certain quilt in mind when you think of one, but like you were saying, Swan, it's more of an art show. It's really pieces of art, right? So talk about the different types of quilts, what sets them apart, what makes them unique, etc.
So you'll see quilts like what you might expect a quilt to be. Those traditional projects where it just looks like squares put together, but then you see them quilted with absolutely incredible thread work. And then they run the gamut, everything to little characters to fully thread painted scenes that look like a photograph. It's just so many things you didn't really expect a quilt to be. So yeah, it is. It's just as much of an art show as it is a craft show.
And they're so memorable, you know, I mean, you have these forever, but you talked about some of the vendors that you have this year. So what else can we expect?
So you're going to see a lot of really exciting vendors this year, not just amazing people selling a wide gamut of sewing machines, which you will see all of them run at the show, and that's the best part. If you think you want to buy a machine, you get to see how it functions. But you'll also see people doing all kinds of hand-dyed fabrics, seeing them create applique projects like some of the quilts that we have here today. And you'll see people showing you how to mark your quilts, how to get different crystals and beads onto your projects, how to explore what the internet can do for you in terms of quilting, just everything.
And the nice thing is too, it's just not local businesses that are going to be there. There's businesses coming in from all over the nation. So it gives somebody that wants to come down the opportunity to see something that they can't see any other time.
Yeah, and you know, as president of Cathey's, why is it so important for you to do shows like this and engage the community in this way every year? Why do you keep doing that?
Well, for lots of reasons, not the least of which is we want to support the guilds. It's important to keep people top of mind that these are important organizations to support and to come in and see what they do. Obviously, it gives us opportunity to engage an audience as well and show what we do.
Right, and we can appreciate everything that we see right here, so I can imagine it's like 10 times more.
Oh, yeah.
Can you purchase some of these? Are these up for sale?
Some of them are, yes. You'll see different tags on all of the different quilts. Some of them are just a description, and then some of them next to them will say, oh, here's the price that you can go purchase this for. You can go up to the front and put your name down for that. So watch out for the ones that are for sale.
Yeah, take a beautiful piece home. And just to give us an idea, you've brought some beautiful examples here. They're smaller, obviously, but they take a lot of care and a lot of attention. So, I mean, in general, how much does somebody spend in terms of time making one of these? So say a small one.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe the one you have in front of me there.
So just the small one here with the raccoons is a project that would take a little over 120 hours.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's quite a bit of time invested, and the bigger ones that you see, sometimes are 500-hour projects.
They're labors of love.
Oh, absolutely. that we give as gifts sometimes. So now we appreciate them even more. And what does it feel like to be able to give a present like this?
It's a lot of work. We have this joke that not everyone is quilt worthy, because it is a lot of work, a lot of time that is invested in these, and a lot of decision making. So when you're deciding what threads and how to quilt it and what color fabrics to put together, your creative juices are pouring into these quilts. So when you create something like this, it's very personal.
So true, and the different types of stitching and the different, you're right, there's so many aspects to it.
Yeah.
And I've seen somebody, my aunt is an avid quilter. She lays it out, it takes almost a long time to do that, and then you might shift things up, but really is beautiful. And like you say, it is something that everybody needs to see and become a part of. Make it your passion.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone can
out.
do it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Guys,
Thank you.
thanks for having
The
us.
42nd Annual Quilt Fiesta at the Tucson Convention Center is happening this Friday through Sunday, and if you'd like more information about it, you can visit TucsonQuiltersGuild.com.